Have you ever felt your breath becoming heavy after just a few steps around the house? If you have, then this article is for you, because habit number 6 will surprise you. Not because it's rare, but because it's so familiar. You might have thought, oh, I'm just coughing a little, maybe it's the weather. But behind that small cough could be a silent signal from your lungs, slowly growing weaker. After turning 60, the lungs are no longer as flexible as they once were. Those thin membranes that helped you breathe through sunshine and storms now need gentler care. Yet some habits from our younger days, ones we believed were harmless, may quietly be damaging the lungs day by day. When the lungs weaken, our breaths become shorter, sleep grows more restless, and even simple conversations with grandchildren can suddenly be interrupted. That breathlessness doesn't just wear us out, it saddens the heart, as if a part of life itself is fading away. But here's the wonderful truth. Just a few small changes each day can help revive your breath, making it fresh and light once more. Especially the final habit, so familiar that many overlook it, is the key knot we need to untie to protect our lungs for the long term. If you're over 60, leave a number 1 in the comments to let us know you're here, walking this journey with us. And if this message truly touched you, don't forget to hit subscribe to Senior Compass, a place for sharing the most heartfelt insights for a healthy and peaceful later life. 1. Smoking. The silent enemy of the lungs. There are things we used to think we could handle when we were young. But after 60, the body begins to respond to each of those old habits. Smoking, even just a few cigarettes a day, is one of the habits that leaves the heaviest mark on the lungs. Smoking doesn't just weaken the lungs, it silently strips away the protective layers of the respiratory system, causing alveoli to shrink, airways to become inflamed, and the lungs' natural cleaning mechanism to nearly shut down. Long-term smokers may not feel it in the early months, but in the twilight years, even a light cough or a flight of stairs can cause chest tightness and breathlessness. You may have heard smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer, but few realize that it also reduces the lungs' ability to exchange oxygen, a vital process for maintaining memory, sleep, and mental clarity in old age. Many older adults have shared, "It was nothing when I was young, but now, just standing near someone smoking on the balcony makes it hard to breathe." That's because the lungs become much more fragile with age. And even worse, secondhand smoke, meaning you don't smoke but still inhale it, is almost equally harmful. If you've smoked for a long time, you are not alone. Millions of others have felt that same mix of regret and worry when thinking about the years gone by. But what matters is not the past. It's the fact that you're reading this now, which means you're ready for a fresh start. And here's the good news. The lungs have the ability to heal themselves. Just a few weeks after quitting, your breathing begins to improve, coughing eases, and even your skin becomes brighter, as oxygen once again flows freely through your blood. You don't have to do this alone. Talk to your family, speak with a doctor, or join a support group. Because every time you say no to a cigarette, you're giving your lungs a new chance, and gifting yourself more years of lightness and peace. Quitting smoking is not a loss. It's a gift you give to yourself, a gift without wrapping paper or ribbons, but as precious as your first breath each morning. 2. Air pollution, the invisible threat to senior breathing. Not all dangers come with smoke or sound. One of the most silent threats to our lungs is the very air we breathe every day. Have you ever opened your window in the early morning to welcome the sunlight, but hesitated because of the dust and fumes outside? That's not just a feeling. It's a natural reaction when your body senses fine particles harming your lung cells. In older adults, the lungs can no longer filter dust like they did in youth. Fine particles, PM 2.5, vehicle emissions, chemicals from gas stoves, or floor cleaners, all can travel deep into the airway, causing inflammation, swelling, and eventually pulmonary fibrosis. People living in cities, near busy roads, or cooking with firewood often experience more respiratory problems. We often think, I'm indoors, so I should be safe. But the truth is, indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outside, especially in spaces with poor ventilation, strong cleaning products, or someone smoking indoors. So, open your windows each morning. Place a small plant in your bedroom. Choose unscented products. And if you can, invest in an air purifier. Not out of luxury, but because your lungs deserve clean air. If you live in a highly polluted area, don't forget to wear a certified mask when going outside. Not to shield others, but to protect your own lungs, which have journeyed with you for decades. The lungs cannot speak, but they remember every particle, every toxic breath you've taken. And if there's one thing you can do each day to show love to yourself, let it begin with your breath. 3. Shallow breathing. When we forget how to truly breathe, there's something strange about aging. The older we get, the more shallow our breathing becomes. Not because our chest shrinks, but because we slowly forget the art of breathing. With both mind and body. Have you ever noticed yourself taking a light breath, only to quickly exhale? Shallow breathing happens when we use only the upper part of our chest, preventing air from reaching the bottom of the lungs, where gas exchange is most effective. Over time, this reduces the oxygen supply to the brain, heart, and entire body. After age 60, lung capacity naturally declines due to aging. If we continue shallow breathing, seniors may feel constant fatigue, dizziness, poor sleep, and even forgetfulness. Some may feel anxious without knowing why, because the brain lacks oxygen, causing emotional imbalance. The cause is not just age, but also lack of movement, sitting for long periods, frequent worry, and absence of deep relaxation habits. The good news is that just a few minutes of deep breathing each day can transform your entire body's state. Place your hand on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose until your belly rises. Hold for 3 seconds, then gently exhale. Repeat this 5 to 10 times every morning or whenever you feel tired. Deep breathing doesn't just help the lungs work better. It's also a way to tell yourself, I am alive, and I deserve to live lightly. 4. Unhealthy eating. When a meal affects your breath. At this age, you might eat less. But what truly matters isn't quantity, it's the quality of every meal. Do you remember the meals of the past? Boiled greens, braised fish, a bowl of warm soup? Today, with fast food, red meat, and fried dishes becoming popular, we've unintentionally forgotten the foods that nourish our lungs. The lungs are gas exchange organs, but they are also highly sensitive to inflammation in the body. And a poor diet, lacking in vitamins C, E, A, fiber, and antioxidants, is a major cause of silent chronic inflammation. Foods high in salt cause water retention, making breathing more difficult. Fried foods generate free radicals, enemies of the lung membrane. A diet low in vegetables and fruits weakens the immune system, making the lungs more vulnerable to infection. You don't need a complete overhaul. Just adding a plate of boiled greens, an orange each morning, or some fish in place of red meat is already a way to nourish your breath. Think of it this way. Each spoonful of vegetables is a gentle caress for the lungs. Each glass of warm water is a comforting hug for your airways. And every time you choose to eat mindfully. 5. Lack of movement. When rest turns into a burden. Resting is necessary, but constant sitting can be dangerous. And after age 60, one of the quiet factors weakening the lungs is lack of physical movement. When we don't walk or move gently, blood circulation slows, and oxygen can't be delivered efficiently. The lungs become lazy, respiratory function declines, and fatigue sets in, even with minimal effort. Moreover, inactivity causes mucus to build up in the lungs, increasing the risk of respiratory infections, especially in people with chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or COPD. The wonderful news is, you don't need a gym or intense workouts. Just walking around your home for 10 minutes in the morning, stretching and breathing deeply while making tea, or doing a few light stretches after each hour of sitting, is enough to keep your lungs healthy. Let movement become a natural part of daily life, like drinking water, breathing, or laughing. Because staying healthy isn't about running fast, it's about breathing freely, every single day. 6. Skipping regular health checkups. The cost of neglect. "It's nothing, just a little cough," is the sentence that causes many to overlook the early signs of lung disease. In older adults, many lung conditions develop quietly. It could be chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, persistent pneumonia, or even a benign tumor. But all of these are much easier to manage if caught early. Skipping regular health checkups means lung problems are often only detected when they've become severe, when breathing is difficult, sleep is disturbed, and daily life is turned upside down. One appointment every 6 months to measure lung function, take a chest X-ray, or check oxygen saturation can make the difference between prevention and treatment. You don't have to do it out of fear. Do it out of love for yourself, because you deserve to know where your body is strong and where it needs care, so you can stay in control, not caught off guard. And if there's one thing you should do before winter arrives, it's booking a simple appointment that might help you breathe easier for the entire season. We've just journeyed through 6 habits that may seem ordinary, but are quietly harming the lungs, those silent companions who have breathed with us every step of the way. From familiar cigarette smoke to odorless polluted air, from shallow breathing, rushed meals, and sedentary days, to missed doctor visits, each of these slowly wears away at our precious breaths, day after day. But the beautiful truth is, none of these things are beyond change. You don't have to turn your life upside down to protect your lungs. Just one small act each day, a few minutes of walking, an extra glass of warm water, 3 deep breaths, or a plate of green vegetables at dinner. Small steps, but steady, and they can restore your breath to one that is deep, light, and whole. Growing older is not the end of recovery. At any age, we can begin again, gently, wisely, and slowly, because you're not just living, you're passing on a way of living. To your children, to your peers, you deserve a healthy body, a clear mind, and a breath that is never rushed. You don't need to race against time. You only need to learn how to breathe, to live more deeply in each passing moment. If today you're not ready to change everything, start with just one thing. Maybe it's a deep breath. Maybe it's opening your window to the morning light and fresh air. Or maybe, simply, it's making a call to schedule a lung checkup. A quiet way of asking your body, "Are you doing okay?" And if you found this message meaningful, don't hesitate to click subscribe to Senior Compass, so that healing reflections like these may continue to reach you as steadily as a warm cup of tea at the start of your day. Which habit will you begin with from today's video? Share it with us below, so we can learn together and grow together, because in the end, beauty does not lie in age, but in how we cherish ourselves a little more each day. May you always breathe with ease and live deeply, fully, in the body you call home.